But G baby, this is one thing that's scary about that Seahawks defense. That now that you mentioned how bad that defense is, that defense is just young, I think. And over time, I think that defense, because you got to think, this is just what Tyler Lockett said in that press conference. We got a young guys that's playing, and they're just all buying in. And ultimately, they're the first team in their division. That team was reminding me of another defense from a season ago, that Bengals defense that was not that great, but got hot at the right time late in the season. Yeah. We already know what that Seahawks offense is. I know y'all want to say Geno Smith is going to unravel.
Don't let Geno Smith go on a run now.
I'm believing in him.
Hold on. Ain't the Seahawks 5-2? They 5-2.
5-3. First place in the NFC West.
First place in the NFC West.
Geno Smith, baby.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm telling you right now, baby, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Seahawks Kool-Aid. Sipping it. Because at the end of the day, bro, I think that defense is better than people are giving credit. And it's only a lot of those players in that defense are young. And I promise you, by week 14, 15, 16, I'm telling you, Seahawks are a real player. Do not let them birds fly. Birds can fly.
They have I think their offense is damn good.
But didn't the Bengals defense catch hot in the playoffs?
Yeah, late. I'm saying late in the season, though. I'm saying they got it together late. That's all. Late season, bro.
What you got to do?
And they bend don't break either, bro.
Listen, G baby, I'm with J-Rob, bro. Put some respect on this fucking man's name. Put some respect on Geno fucking Smith.
Drink the tea, bro. Drink the tea.
Thank you.
Tea is nasty for anybody who drinks it. Anyway, I just the Bengals defense though, because I would argue the difference. Which is why I don't think that, they played great, but, that type of run, the reason why I don't think that is because the Bengals defense, though, had vets. They had a Von Bell and a Trey Hendrickson and Jesse Bates. And even though I like the guys they got,
I get behind that.
They still a little young. That's why I don't know if I want to say that. But I do think in the years coming, that defense is going to be nice. They just need to get a different quarterback under center, and then
but they got Pete. They got Pete Carroll.
I ain't gonna lie, G baby. I ain't gonna lie. There's one thing I'm not gonna let you do because there was a stat today that I saved just for you tonight, brother. Hoping that you're gonna be on here. You and Trent.
Talk to me. What's the stat? What's the stat?
It's a stupid stat, but I love it because it's a great one. It's perfect passer rating. So perfect passes, catchable area, perfect throws. Geno Smith. Out of 100% of his throws, only 9% of his throws are less than perfect passes, bro, this season. That means he's hitting at a 91% rate in accuracy when it comes to just throwing the ball in an accurate area. That can sound crazy, but you saying he can't throw the ball. Y'all said he was a duck.
I didn't say that. No. Okay,
you said get a different quarterback.
Because I don't believe he will be the one to lead you to a championship. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying let him have this season. G-Baby, this is great.
Hold on, G-Baby, let me ask you something. If he leads them to the playoffs, bro, when nobody had them going to the playoffs, bro,
gotta give him a shot.
Hey, I will give him hey, that was a great season, Geno. That was great. But you know who so let's say they make the playoffs. You know who else's first round pick they have? The Broncos.
Okay.
Use that pick and make sure you go get Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. Let Bryce Young sit for a year so that he can learn under Pete Carroll. And there's nothing wrong learning from Geno. He's been in the league long enough. Let him sit and wait. But you need to go get your franchise quarterback because not only I'm not saying Geno is trash, but he is I'm just saying if he comes back next year and he's doing the same thing, if he's coming back next year and doing the same thing, cool. I saw you do it twice. But you've been a backup for 9 years. I'm not going to bank off of one season and say you're a franchise quarterback.
Can I just say how nasty this man is? Can I just say how nasty you are, G baby?
How am I being nasty?
Because you love Jimmy G, bro. You thought at one point he was a top 15 guy.
I said he was at 15, but I always said he was mid. You
thought he was a top 15 quarterback, brother.
But I always said he was mid.
You thought he was a top 15 guy.
I always said he was mid, though.
Let me ask y'all a real question, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
If you think Geno Smith is Jimmy G is good enough to take a team to a Super Bowl and be the quarterback, How in the hell are you out on Geno Smith? Because the year, hold on.
I'll explain the difference. No, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let him finish. I'm gonna explain the difference though, but I'm gonna let you finish.
When the San Francisco 49ers and them went to that Super Bowl, they didn't go on the back of Jimmy G. He just kind of filled a role. Let's be real about what Geno Smith is doing. He is playing them in 2 games. He is making all the right throws. Let's not forget that big that fourth quarter drive a week ago where he's making every throw needed to keep them chains moving. He's making those plays. You think Geno Smith misses that throw to Emmanuel Sanders for touchdown in the Super Bowl? I think Geno Smith has a lot of ability, bro, and I think he's showing it. And if you think Jimmy G is a top 15 guy, then there's no way you can be so out on Geno Smith.
So can I tell you the difference why? Because I understand your point. So I'm not even really tripping about it. So I'm gonna tell you a couple differences in the two. So first off, with Jimmy G, I've always said he was mid. I just thought he was the best out of the mid. I thought Dak Prescott was at the end of like the really good. And then after that, everybody was mid. I thought Jimmy G was the best out of that. Second, when it comes to Jimmy G and all that, my main thing was I wasn't a believer in Trey Lance. Now, if they would have had Justin Fields behind him, bye, Jimmy. If they would have had Trevor, bye, Jimmy. I don't need you. I wasn't a believer in Trevor. And I thought for that team, I'm taking Jimmy G over. The third difference that I really want to talk about that I don't think gets talked about enough, another reason that I also don't think Geno should be your franchise quarterback, ain't he like 30-something? Ain't he 30, 31, 32?
32.
Go get, if you have the opportunity to go get Bryce Young or CJ, not no AR-15, not no Will Levis, none of them dudes or whatever their names are. If CJ or Bryce, because those are the only ones I like. If CJ or Bryce Young are available to get, those are the ones I think you should be banking on. Because
hold on, do you think? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say because the Broncos I think are gonna end up with a low pick, and you got the Commanders and the Lions that also need quarterbacks.
Broncos already have 3 wins.
How well
Commanders have 4.
Also, bro,
Broncos or Lions have 1.
Another thing we got coming factor, like why we think like J-Rock if you think Jimmy G or whatever, then why Geno Smith is that like Geno Smith been in the league for damn near a decade and been dog. Like he just this is this first year.
Nobody gave him a chance.
But great situations, great schemes. I mean,
anyways.
Hold on, Rated R. What you about to say, Rated R?
My point is, like I'm not about to take that situation. My point is that even though this is his first year, at least Jimmy G, he's been on the team and like the first year went to Super Bowl and then now they've been to conference championship. I'm not saying Jimmy G good. I think he made. But I'm just saying though, plus he's younger. And second, Geno Smith has been in the league for almost a decade. He's just been boom.
But Jimmy G also been a backup most of his career, and also he sat.
He backed up Tom Brady though.
He was behind Tom Brady, but he was also behind Russell Wilson, picking up the same.
And he was carried by.
They know what Geno Smith was doing in that time while he was under Russell Wilson. He was studying that playbook, learning, getting better.
It's the first out of 10. Good.
And I can give y'all that. And I can give y'all that.
It's crazy,
y'all was behind Jimmy G going to the San Fran based off what he did in New England.
I never was high.
So just for clarification, I'm not a believer in banking on somebody out for 2 games, but when he got there, they didn't lose again. Like I couldn't ignore that. When they was like 1-8 or 0-8. He gets there, they don't lose another game. Then he gets hurt, they start losing again. And then not too long after, they're in a Super Bowl. 2 years later, they're in a conference championship. Where they really should have won, to be honest.
I think it's just unfair what y'all doing to Geno Smith because ultimately, bro, he's playing at an elite level. Now I'm saying
let's wait and see it when he does it again. Bro, if he does it again next year, I'll give it to you. But I'm not doing a 1-year wonder. If he ends up being what if he comes back next year and he goes back to being old Geno? That's a 1-year wonder, and I'm not banking my franchise off of that. I'm not.
Hey, hold on. G-Baby, do you think the Seahawks is looking for a quarterback right now? Do you think they focus is looking for a quarterback right now on how well Geno Smith
at this? Okay, so if you want to say at this moment, no, because their own pick isn't going to be that low unless they just fall off a cliff. But if Denver keeps falling, I guarantee you they're going to be looking at hey, if Bryce or CJ's still around, or if we can make a little move to go up and get him, because it's the best of both worlds. You get your young franchise quarterback, but you ain't got to play him right away. You can sit there, just like y'all was talking about how Geno learned. You can sit Bryce Young or CJ for a year, let him learn. But he's 32.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. But at the end of the day, if I'm the Seahawks, I'm not going to use my first round pick. Because first of all, they're not going to be picking in the top 3. It's over. We obviously know they're going to win more than enough games, so they're not going to be picking in the top 3. So they're not going to get CJ Stroud anyway. They're not going to get Bryce Young anyway. So they're not picking a quarterback.
Because the only teams that are like low enough to need quarterbacks, the Lions, they'll probably get one. But then after that, I would argue, the Texans just sticking with Davis Mills.
This is why, bro, you're saying you're sitting here telling me that Bryce Young and CJ Stroud are going past number 5.
I think the Broncos pick will be low enough to where they can make a trade. But even in 1 through 5, if you look at all the lowest teams, a lot of them either already drafted their quarterback or the Commanders was one I thought might get one, but they're 4-4 right now. They're higher than the Broncos. So who knows if they're going to be there to get one.
Listen, at the end of the day, the difference between Jimmy G and Geno Smith from the biggest picture is that when we watched Jimmy G play for the 49ers, we knew there was limitations. We knew that this guy was not the greatest decision maker. We always knew he was due for a pick. We knew that he was a big relier on his running game because when they needed him to make the throws, they had to put it in the hands of other players. That's why they turned Deebo Samuel into a running back. That's why they couldn't get guys the ball. That's why they banking on Trey Lance to save them. The difference between Geno Smith and him is Geno Smith is a better overall decision maker and a better thrower of the football. Being a decision maker, being a thinker, that's not a trait that just dissipates. Why do you think Tom Brady's been able to do it for so long? He's playing like shit now, but that's what's made him great for all these years. That's what made Peyton Manning great. I'm not comparing Geno to them guys, but as a decision maker, Geno Smith has been one of the best in the entire league, if not the best this season. He is playing at a very elite level. You have to respect that. And that's why I think this shit could keep going. And the Seahawks don't have to be so, we got to get a quarterback tomorrow. They can build that franchise.
Again, bro. Again, like if he do this shit for the rest of the year, we just have to see it again, bro. He's been in the league for 10 years, bro. His first good year. We got to see it again.
To go off of that, what you said, J-Rob, like in the way in which they're using him, bro, J-Rob hit it on the money. He's being a game manager, hitting his passes, being a game manager, and when it's time to shine and throw a bomb to deliver your playmakers of Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf the ball, he puts it majority of times on the fucking money. That's all you can ask from your quarterback, and that's why it's different from a Jimmy G and a Geno Smith right now. And on top of that, listen, bro, they have a Kenneth Walker, and I'm with J-Rob, too. The defense is young under Pete Carroll, and the defense, I think, is going to get better. You tell me next year, I think they have a lot of first- and second-round picks.
They do.
Revamp on your defense. Bro.
They're going to have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds.
I mean, Russell Wilson won a fucking Super Bowl being a game manager. Why can't Geno?
All we're saying is
one more thing. Let me just lift off some numbers for y'all, just real quick.
That's very nasty, Doug. Because the Legion of Boom. No, that's gross. The Legion of Boom is a top 5 defense.
That team.
Tyreek Woolen is disgusting. Tyreek Woolen is disgusting.
Yo, he's good, but come on.
That
was good.
That's one of like the 5. Yeah, that was one of the 5 greatest defenses ever.
This is of all time.
I'm going to stick with it.